Hi, welcome to Eric's Movie Corner. I'm Eric, and I'm here to talk about movies. Let's do it! I'm new here to YouTube, and some of you may be thinking to yourself, do we really need another guy here talking about movies? The answer is probably not, but I'm going to do it anyway. There's a couple different reasons. I've been a podcaster for over a decade at this point. I'm one of the co-hosts on the Dark Discussions podcast, where we talk about genre movies. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not slighting my co-hosts on that show. I love those guys. We've been through a lot together over the last 10 years. But due to the nature of a multi-person podcast, there are things that happen, like I don't always get to choose the movies that we're going to talk about, so sometimes we end up watching and talking about movies that I'm not particularly interested in. Also, due to the nature of multi-person conversations, sometimes the conversation will take a twist and I will not get to say what I wanted to say, or I'll forget what I wanted to say, and like 2 hours later I'll be like, oh, I forgot to talk about that. So this is one way that I can make sure that I'm talking about movies that I want to talk about and I get to say everything that I want to say. Reason number 2, at the beginning of the year, I partook in another podcast called the Basement Movie Podcast. That was a commentary podcast where we'd watch a movie and record our conversation about it. It didn't work out. It happens. But during the course of that podcast, one of my co-hosts on that show, who was about 10 years younger than me, and a self-described horror fan, I kept on discovering like these classic horror movies that he hadn't seen, like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's a shame that somebody who's a horror fan hadn't seen those movies. So one of the other reasons I'm doing this is to try and go back and revisit some classics that maybe some of you younger people out there haven't seen. I'm not trying to be insulting when I refer to you as younger people. I'm coming up on, well, in a couple of years, my age is going to rhyme with nifty. And you see this gray in my beard right here? Yeah, that's wisdom, and I'm here to share it with you. So I'm going to be going back and visiting some classics, telling you why I think they're great, and then putting up a spoiler flag and maybe going into some additional details on the movie. That's not all I'm going to be doing here. In addition to reviews, I'm probably going to be discussing some general topics like the future of movie theaters and PG-13 versus R and other things like that. So if there's a movie or a topic that you'd like me to talk about, leave a comment below. I will certainly read them all. I can't promise that I will take every suggestion. So if you're interested in all of this, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. If you want to get notifications on when I make new posts, ring my bell, ring my bell. I'm here to have a good time, and I hope you are too. So like, subscribe, leave comments below, and I will be back. I plan on posting my first review of Jaws, hoping to get that up by the 4th of July, because that's a great time to watch. So thanks for tuning in. I'll be back with more later.